Imagine for a second an IKEA instruction manual.
Okay, I'm with you.
But instead of showing you how to, like, build a bookshelf or a coffee table, it literally tells you how to build the universe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from subatomic quarks all the way up to what it calls the greatest creator.
That is quite the instruction manual.
Right, but that is exactly the ambition of the text we are decoding today. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are exploring a massively complex philosophical document for you.
Massively complex is an understatement, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. It's the preface of Lifechanyuan Values. It's authored by Fanxing Buddha and translated by IKEA. And our mission today is to just demystify this incredibly dense material.
Which is a tall order.
Very. We want to extract the core ideas about a mysterious text known as the Chanyuan corpus and figure out the exact values it promotes for humanity. So, okay, let's unpack this because it is one heck of an intellectual puzzle.
It really demands that we completely suspend our usual frameworks.
Yeah, leave your preconceptions at the door.
Exactly. Our goal here isn't to judge the text or, validate its theology. We are just putting on our analytical hats to synthesize its massive claims for you.
Right, just reporting what's on the page.
Right. We want to understand its internal logic. Like, why does it view itself as the pinnacle of interpretive wisdom in human history?
Which is a bold claim.
A very bold claim. And to do that, we have to look at the mechanics of its arguments. How does it claim to hold all human knowledge? And more importantly, why does it think you need this information right now?
Well, before we get to the specific values you're supposed to, apply to your life, we have to talk about the vessel delivering them.
The physical book.
Exactly. The Chanyuan corpus as a physical and historical object, because the source material goes out of its way to establish that this is not a regular book.
No, definitely not.
The preface quotes a figure named Crane Celestial, who describes the corpus as a unique and outstanding book. And it builds this fascinating foundational argument about causality.
Yeah, it claims that the birth of any book, or any theoretical system really, is never accidental.
Right. There's a reason for it.
What's fascinating here is that the author is stating that a work of this magnitude is fundamentally, inextricably tied to the author's own life experiences.
Their social background, all of that.
Exactly. Their background, the uniqueness of their consciousness. It posits a universe where every text is a mathematical inevitability of the mind that produced it.
That makes sense.
And the corpus claims to cover a staggering breadth of knowledge because of that specific consciousness. It traces the entire history of China, from ancient legends right up to modern times.
And it claims to dissect the documents of major religious sects, right? To reproduce what it calls their original features.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And that concept of original features, that actually leads into my favorite analogy in the entire preface.
The archaeology one.
Yes. The text compares reading the corpus to the science of archaeology. Like, if you're an archaeologist and you stumble upon an intact excavation site, you aren't just pulling up dusty rocks or broken clay.
You're recovering history.
Exactly. You are recovering history. By using the corpus to filter these ancient texts, classic myths, and historical legends, well, they stop being just allegorical stories.
Right. They become real.
They become fleshed out. They become a living, breathing record.
But the mechanism the text suggests for this is highly specific. It explicitly states that if you approach the corpus merely as a collection of literal words, scanning it like a textbook, you miss the point entirely.
So you can't just skim it.
No, it requires a specific conscious attitude. If you apply that attitude, the text literally claims its soul will jump off of each page.
Jump off the page, wow.
Yeah, it positions itself as a living script. It takes ancient knowledge, the esoteric secrets of dead civilizations, and attempts to make them directly, urgently relevant to your modern life today.
Okay, so reading it with that active conscious attitude is supposedly what allows you to see the text as an impeccable, coherent whole.
Right.
But I think we need to pause and look at the sheer scale of what is inside this living script, because here is where it gets really interesting.
And frankly, highly controversial.
Oh, totally. The document states that the corpus scales from the unimaginably massive motions of macroscopic celestial bodies.
Right, planets and stars.
Yeah. And it scales all the way down to the incredibly tiny, specifically mentioning submicroscopic quarks and strings.
Which is a huge span.
It is attempting to bridge hard quantum mechanics with pure theology. And I have to stop and push back on this.
Go for it.
How does a single philosophical text logically jump from analyzing the drawbacks of current scientific models to explaining the birth of time, space, and a figure it calls the greatest creator?
It's a leap.
It's a massive chasm. That is oil and water.
Well, that chasm is the central feature of the author's philosophy. The text bridges it by completely redefining the foundational fabric of the universe.
How so?
According to the corpus, you cannot understand reality just through material science. Our current scientific models are limited because they only measure the physical residue of the universe.
The stuff we can touch and see.
Right. To get the full picture, you have to understand the universe's true underlying nature, which the text defines as consciousness, structure, and energy.
Wait. Consciousness, like, are we talking about human awareness? Because a quark is a fundamental particle in physics.
Yeah.
It has mass, it has spin, it has charge, it doesn't have thoughts. So how does the text possibly justify projecting consciousness onto subatomic strings?
Okay, so it does this by redefining consciousness, not as human thought, but as a structural blueprint.
Okay.
The text argues that we have a highly anthropocentric view of consciousness. Like, we think of it as the literal voice in our heads.
Right, our internal monologue.
But the corpus suggests consciousness is more like the underlying code or the operating system of the universe itself.
Oh, like computer code.
Exactly. In this framework, a quark possesses a basic level of structure and energy dictated by this universal consciousness. It's the unifying fabric.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, and this is how the text attempts to organically combine religion and science into what it calls the unified field of the universe.
So if I'm getting this, the science we do in laboratories is just measuring the structure and energy,
Yes.
but theology and the corpus itself are providing the consciousness piece of the equation.
You nailed it.
That leads to chapters in the text with titles like universe, time, and space sitting right alongside preaching and unconventional thinking.
Which sounds jarring until you realize they see it all as one system.
Right. And this dual approach introduces concepts like the 36-dimensional space and the non-material world.
Introducing the non-material world is how the text claims to open a new chapter for mankind. It establishes a crucial distinction between two concepts of existence.
Okay, break that down for us.
So there is human life, spelled with lowercase letters, which represents your physical, material, day-to-day existence.
Going to work, buying groceries.
Exactly. Then there is life, fully capitalized, capital L-I-F-E.
Capital L,
Yeah.
life.
Yes, and that is a grand, cosmic, spiritual concept representing your ultimate place within those 76 dimensions.
Okay, but what does that distinction actually look like in practice?
Well,
Because does a qualitative mutation in how you perceive reality mean I just stopped caring about paying my rent or making dinner because I suddenly realize I'm a multidimensional being?
no.
Ground this cosmic claim in mundane reality for me.
It doesn't mean you stop paying rent. It means you change why you think the rent matters.
Oh, interesting.
Lowercase human life is concerned with survival, wealth, and status. Capital L life is concerned with spiritual evolution and energetic frequency.
Got it.
The text outlines chapters like celestial cultivation and attainment of Buddhahood, which are designed as a roadmap to trigger a qualitative leap in your understanding.
So you're still doing normal things.
You still live in the material world, you're still paying bills and eating dinner, but your operating system has been upgraded.
I see.
You recognize that your material actions are constantly interacting with the non-material 36-dimensional space.
I mean, having all this incredible cosmic knowledge about quarks, 36 dimensions, and the operating system of the universe, it is a really fun thought experiment.
Oh, for sure.
But a map isn't helpful unless it tells you where to walk.
Right.
So how does this theoretical corpus translate into daily human behavior? What are the actual Chanyuan values you are supposed to apply?
Well, the Chanyuan values are the applied science of this massive textbook.
Okay.
The text describes these values as the most direct channel to the source of capital L life.
Straight to the source.
Yeah, and it claims they were conveyed by the greatest creator, gods, and Buddha through a specific figure named Shuefeng. And the text places an intense, immediate urgency on adopting them.
Like we need them right now.
Exactly. It quotes a figure named Qiankun Celestial, who says humanity must know its roots and the operating mechanisms of things from non-existence to existence in order to work out the game rules of human life.
The game rules. I really like that phrasing.
Yeah.
Because that implies humanity is currently playing a complex game without knowing how the points are scored, or even what the objective is.
We're just making it up as we go.
We're just stumbling around the board. And the text says these new game rules are meant for the, quote, new people of Earth to follow.
Especially because the universe is about to undergo major adjustments.
Right, major adjustments.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that impending major adjustment introduces massive cosmic stakes.
I mean, yeah, that sounds ominous.
The text doesn't explicitly define whether this adjustment is a physical cataclysm or a spiritual shift, but the implication is super clear.
The current state is unsustainable.
Yes, the current state of humanity cannot keep going like this. The universe is going to correct itself.
So you need the rules.
Right. The values aren't just for achieving personal inner peace. They are an evolutionary adaptation required for survival and harmony in a rapidly shifting universal paradigm.
Okay, so what are these actual values, these game rules? The source material frames them around principles like profound reverence for nature and total ego dissolution.
Right.
And it makes sense based on what you said earlier. Because if the universe's baseline is consciousness, then treating nature as a dead resource is a direct violation of the game rules.
You're harming the living fabric.
Exactly. You're harming the living fabric of the universe. And ego dissolution, letting go of your selfish, lowercase life desires.
Yeah.
That's the only way to align yourself with that capital L life.
Those principles really demonstrate how the values attempt to bridge the material world, like what we see, hear, smell, and taste, with the non-material world.
It brings it down to earth.
And to explain the mechanics of how you actually practice this, the author introduces 3 highly specific metaphors.
Okay.
The first one is that Chanyuan values are a treasure chest.
Oh, a treasure chest,
Right.
which implies a collection of tools you can draw from based on your immediate need.
Exactly.
Like, if you are struggling with physical illness, the chest contains health preservation methods.
Right.
If you are struggling with spiritual confusion, it offers tools to identify true from false.
Right.
Just take what serves your current obstacle.
You got it. But the second metaphor is far more demanding.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the text calls the values a melting pot of life.
Okay, explain the mechanism of a melting pot in this context, because that sounds painful.
It kind of is. It is meant to be transformative, which,
Yeah.
Often involves a lot of friction.
Right.
In metallurgy, a melting pot subjects raw, impure metals to intense heat.
To burn away the bad stuff.
Yes, to burn away the dross and forge a stronger, purer alloy. So the text uses this metaphor to explain that enlightenment is not just passive salvation.
You don't just sit there.
Right. The intense heat is the friction of your daily lived experiences, your hardships, and your conscious spiritual practice.
That's tough.
You have to subject your lowercase life to this heat to literally burn away the ego. And the quality of capital L life you pull out of that melting pot depends entirely on your own wisdom and the sheer effort you put into the fire.
Wow. So you do the work, you get the refined alloy.
Exactly.
That makes sense. But the third metaphor, that one acts as the ultimate cosmic warning.
Yes, it does.
The author calls the values a Pandora's box.
Right, from the myth.
Yeah, and in the original myth, opening Pandora's box unleashes curses upon the world. Here, the text uses it to explain karmic physics.
Good begets good.
But evil leads to evil. If you misuse this ultimate knowledge, if you take the tools from the treasure chest and use them for selfish, ego-driven purposes, the non-material universe will react.
With severe consequences.
Yes, severe consequences.
And that karmic physics engine is what makes the Chanyuan values both fixed and flexible.
Explain that.
The text notes that the underlying laws of the universe are fixed. They do not change, much like gravity.
Right, gravity always works.
Right. Cause and effect, the Pandora's box element, it applies equally to everyone. However, the application of those fixed rules is highly flexible. It differs from person to person.
Well, yeah, because my daily material reality looks very different than yours. The way I apply reverence for nature while living in a concrete apartment in the city will look very different than someone farming a plot of land.
Right.
The flexible application respects the individual's context while still holding them to the same absolute standard.
It all comes down to personal obligation. The text argues that once you understand the unified field, once you see the connection between the submicroscopic string and the greatest creator.
You can't unsee it.
Exactly. You are no longer a passive observer. It becomes your active responsibility to use these values to help maintain a stable and harmonious universe.
You are part of the system.
You become a co-creator
Yeah.
in preparing for those major adjustments.
We have really journeyed through an incredibly vast landscape today.
We really have.
To synthesize everything we've pulled from the source material for you, the Chenyuan corpus presents itself as an encyclopedic, living book from heaven.
Living book.
It claims to map out 36 dimensions of existence, organically unifying hard quantum mechanics with ancient theology by redefining the universe as a web of consciousness, structure, and energy.
A total paradigm shift.
And then it delivers the Chenyuan values, the rules of the game, to prepare you, the listener, for impending cosmic shifts, using tools like the treasure chest and the melting pot.
It is a document that literally leaves absolutely no stone unturned.
None.
It claims to possess the ultimate unified answer to both the material and spiritual questions of human existence.
Which is actually what makes the author's sign-off at the very end of this preface so surprising.
Oh, yeah.
After claiming to explain the entire universe from quarks to God, the author, Fancheng Buddha, presents this massive, almost humorous paradox.
It's quite the twist.
He admits that because the values attempt to cover the totality of existence, they almost seem to evaporate into thin air.
Right.
He literally writes in the text, "It seems to tell you everything and nothing at the same time. Do you understand them?" Well, I seem to say nothing.
It is a really striking moment of philosophical humility.
It really is.
To build an entire theoretical universe and then acknowledge the inherent absurdity of trying to capture it all in human language.
Words fail at a certain point.
They do. And that paradox raises a vital question we should all walk away with. The text claims to provide the flawless game rules for existence, right?
Right.
That ontological IKEA manual we talked about, designed to ensure free, harmonious, and happy lives for humanity.
The ultimate cheat code for the universe.
But if humanity were to actually receive that flawless manual, if all the answers to the universe, from the subatomic to the divine, were suddenly handed to us, fully explained and decoded,
Would we want it?
would having all those answers finally grant us ultimate freedom? Or by mathematically explaining every single mechanism of our existence, would it strip away the profound mystery that makes human consciousness so beautiful and driven to explore in the first place?
That is the question.
Would we still be playing the game of life, or would the game simply be over?
Definitely something for you to mull over. Until next time.